Tonight, the city of Quincy is working to help your water utility bills go farther. I'm Rachel Pearson, and coming up, I'll show you a problem you might not have even known about. That story in just minutes.
Bitter cold temperatures settle in across the nation's midsection. This will be a brief cool down, followed by a warm up, followed by real Arctic air just in time for the weekend. We'll sort out all the details with your forecast coming up.
And donated land goes to the highest bidder. Happening tonight, the Quincy Public School Board looks to auction off its donated land from ADM. But find out why teachers are particularly curious about tonight's special executive meeting afterwards that could have something to do with contract negotiations or possibly a strike.
This is KHQA News at 6, working for you.
Those stories in just a moment, but first a closer look at tomorrow's first deadline to renew or get health care insurance by the new year. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for KHQA News at 6. I'm Raja Maples. We have some breaking news out of Rawls County. KHQA's Taylor Anderson is right there, and she is reporting that authorities have investigated a suspicious death all afternoon, and they have confirmed that 53-year-old Sue Epperson's death is a possible homicide. We'll bring you more details as they become available. Well, KHQA's Iowa State House reporter Steffi Lee shows you why health experts say it's still important that you enroll under the Affordable Care Act.
So we've seen a big push.
At Visiting Nurse Services of Iowa, it's crunch time to sign people up for health care under the Affordable Care Act.
Now it's important to offer this free in-person assistance for folks that are enrolling in health insurance.
Navigator specialist Nicole Cook says at every appointment,
we will help them with the eligibility application, comparing and shopping for plans, enrolling in that plan.
Before the ACA, people with pre-existing conditions like cancer or diabetes could be denied coverage. A new report from the Kaiser Family Foundation shows this law protects more than 400,000 Iowans under age 65.
We will and must repeal and replace Obamacare.
But President-elect Donald Trump's campaign promise to repeal the law has caused some worry. But experts say you should still enroll in a health care plan because the law is the law.
I think there's certainly some pieces of the law that they will maintain, whether they call it a repeal or they would call it a replacement or a fix. I do think that in general everyone understands that before the law, the system we had in place was not sustainable.
Director of Drake University's Health Law Program, Denise Hill, says an immediate repeal of the entire law is unlikely.
Well, they'll probably do something in the area of appropriations budgeting to repeal pieces of it, but that's going to take some time. Over time, we likely will see that the individual mandate will go away.
In Des Moines, Steffi Lee, KHQA News.
We have some breaking news out of Knox County, Missouri tonight. That's where the Edina Sentinel reports the FBI is now investigating a mismanagement of narcotics and money at the county's ambulance district. Now, according to this report, Knox County's prosecutor requested an investigation into possible theft of drugs and money by an employee at the district. The FBI is now handling the case. FBI officials would not comment on that investigation. Happening right now in Quincy, the Quincy School Board holds an auction to sell donated ADM land. KHQA's David Emilati joins us live outside of Quincy Senior High School with more.
Good evening, Raja. Yes, tonight could be the end of this ADM donated land to QPS saga that we've been following since the land was first donated back on August 14th of this year. Like you said, there is an auction happening tonight. It is happening right now behind me inside the Quincy Senior High School, inside the cafeteria. I will have results of that auction tonight for you on KHQA News at 10. It's a story, though, that's after this auction that everyone's paying attention to. Immediately after the auction, the Quincy School Board will go into executive session. And on the list of topics to discuss will be contract negotiations with teachers, staff, and faculty. We have video we want you to see. This is video from a school board meeting that happened last month. Hundreds of teachers and faculty members turned out to show unity as they try and pursue their new contract. We don't want to forget that the teachers union is not on its own. There are 6 unions working together as the Quincy Federation, a total of 850 employees trying to get new contracts for the new year. I'm told by Quincy Federation Representative Jen Drew that the union made a counter proposal for contracts last week, but the district didn't respond with anything, and she says that could lead to a strike in the near future.
But it affects the whole community, all the children, the people who are at work. What are they going to do with their kids for daycare? But the things that we are asking for are, fair and consistent pay and language for all of our groups.
Now, Drew says that is a last case scenario or worst case scenario. She says there are good relations between the unions, the school district, and especially Superintendent Roy Webb. She does expect to hear or hopes to hear an answer no later than this Friday at 3 p.m. She's hopeful that she will hear that the school board will offer a time for a future meeting so that they can sit down and further these negotiations. Raj, I'll send it back to you live in Quincy. David Imladi, KHQA News.
Speaking of contract negotiations, Hollister Whitney employees put down their signs and pick up their lunchboxes to get back to work. Their strike has now ended. Local 822 Union Representative Ross Miller tells KHQA a contract was ratified this morning between the union and Hollister Whitney. No other details have been released.
Now, your 7-storm team first forecast.
Cold front has now crossed the tri-states, and that will allow some bitter cold temperatures to settle in. Couple that with a calm wind and a mostly clear sky. How'd we do today? Well, the high temperatures did get up into the 20s for the most part. 22 at the Quad Cities. We had 31 in St. Louis, 26 officially at Quincy Regional Airport, and 28 at Kansas City. Temperature is now settled back down into the teens for the most part. 19 at Quincy, 29 at St. Louis, 12 at the Quad Cities, and 25 at Kansas City. Not a whole lot of cloud cover in association with that front, just some high clouds. A lot of that has already crossed most of the tri-states, now pushing well to the south. So with the mostly clear sky expected overnight, we'll fall back to about 7. Wind chill anywhere from 0 to about 5 below. Expected with a northwest wind at about 10 miles an hour later on tonight. And then for tomorrow, expect partial sunshine to start. More clouds start to roll in later on in the day with the high temperature back up to around 20. And then things start to look interesting. Wrapping up the work week. Tell you about that coming up in just a few minutes.
New tonight at 6 o'clock, Quincy is experiencing several street closures. KHQ's Rachel Pearson joins us live from North 24th Street to explain why.
Looking at the Quincy Mall parking lot, you might not see a problem, but just below where I'm standing, water is leaking into the ground. Now, the city of Quincy estimates that about 33% of their water is being lost through the ground and the sewers. Now, this loss of water also means a loss in revenue for water utilities. Now, city engineer Jeffrey Conti says Quincy's infrastructure dates back nearly 150 years. And while it's normal for cities to lose about 15% of their water, it's an issue the city is working to fix.
Leakage is to be expected. The way the pipes are built, they have flexible joints so that they can move with the ground. So you're never going to get all the leakage eliminated.
Also adds that it's difficult to know where exactly these leaks are taking place. He says it's a guessing game based on where water flows either out of the surface of the streets or into the sewers. Now, fixing one of these leaking pipes can cost around $10,000 just to repair. Coming up tonight at 10, I'll explain what the city is doing to help manage your funds. Live in Quincy, Rachel Pearson, KHQA News.
Well, take a look at your screen. Some scary moments in Quincy this afternoon. A tree prevented this car from driving right into pedestrians this afternoon. Quincy police say the crash happened near 36th and Broadway. The driver was exiting the Hy-Vee gas station headed north when they rear-ended a car. That's when the driver then made a hard U-turn south of the Sprint building and then hit a tree. Police say if the driver had not hit this tree, she would have driven right into the Hy-Vee gas station, possibly hitting gas pumps or even pedestrians. Both the driver and the passenger were taken to Blessing Hospital. We now have breaking news out of New London, Missouri. That's where authorities tell KHQA they are now investigating a possible homicide. Now, the Rawls County Sheriff's Office says they're investigating the death of 53-year-old Sue Epperson. The investigation is ongoing by the Rawls County Sheriff's Office, New London Police Department, and the Missouri Highway Patrol. Authorities have been investigating this death all afternoon. KHQA has a crew on the scene and will bring you more details as they become available.
Still to come, a brand new facility for Ursa Farmers Co-op. A look at how it'll benefit the community.
You're watching KHQA News at 6, working for you.
Happening this week in agriculture, a brand new facility for Ursa Farmers Co-op. It's been a year in the making, and the co-op has finally made this move. KHQA's Abigail James joins us live in the studio right now to show you how the community will benefit.
Raja, that's right. This evening, Ursa Farmers Co-op hosted a formal ribbon cutting ceremony to recognize business partners who provided support for the renovations in the community room portion of the new building. Now, yes, I did say community room, and that's because Ursa Farmers Co-op is opening an entire portion of the building for the community. Now, Co-op's new facility sits right along Highway 96 in the former Greenfield Elementary School. It is deemed the corporate office. In addition to 12,000 square foot of office space, there is also a meeting room large enough for 100 people, a break room, and a boardroom. And on the entire other side of the building is a gym, meeting room, and kitchen, all of which will be available to the community.
Have this awesome office space here that we can grow into, and we also have a way to give back to the community.
Now, grain handling operations will still continue at its former location in Ursa. There will be no grain operations at this new facility due to no storage. The community will be able to have access to the community room beginning in January. Live in studio, Abigail James, KHQA News.
We've got some bitter cold air that's making its way inbound, not just for tonight, but also it's going to stick around just in time for the upcoming weekend. Got all the details in your forecast coming up next.
You're watching KHQA News at 6, working for you.
We now have breaking news out of New London, Missouri. Authorities tell KHQA they are investigating a possible homicide in Rawls County. KHQA's Taylor Anderson joins us live from the Rawls County Sheriff's Office with more on this investigation.
That's right, Raja. Now, the Rawls County Sheriff Office confirms the death of 53-year-old New London resident Sue Epperson. Like you said, the prelim investigation says it's a possible homicide, but the investigation is still ongoing. Now, Sheriff Dinwiddie tells us that a concerned family member called the police because she had not heard from Epperson in a couple of days, and police responded to the call at the 400 block at 2nd Street in New London, where they found Epperson's body. Now, deputies are still on the scene. The investigation is still ongoing by the New London Police Department, Missouri State Highway Patrol, the Rawls County Sheriff's Office, and the Nemo Major Case Squad. Sheriff Dinwiddie did not have any additional comments. We will continue to bring you updates, as many as you can, so continue following us on Twitter, Facebook, and everything. Live at the Sheriff's Office, Taylor Anderson, KHQA News.
Now, your exclusive 7-storm team forecast.
And we begin this evening with a live look through the Sleep Tight sky cam to the northwest, where we do have a fair sky overhead. There have been a few clouds here and there. Most of the cloud cover is scooting across the southern tier of the tri-states, but the rest of the tri-states is under a mostly clear sky, and that will allow temperatures to really kind of take a dive, if you will. 26 the high today. After 10 degrees the early morning low, we should be at 37 and 22. 68 and 12 below the extremes back on this day. Nothing on the rain gauge or snow gauge, if you will. 7/19 the sunrise for tomorrow. Let's take a look at some numbers from around the region. Quincy Regional checks in with 19 degrees. Dew point temperature is 6 degrees above with a northwest wind at 9. Pressure is up there and it's on the rise at 30.35. Right now across Macomb, across the square where we do have a fair sky and some folks doing some shopping. Right now, Macomb Regional, 16 degrees, 63% humidity, north-northwest wind at 14 miles an hour. Currently, we've got temperatures in the teens and 20s, no single digits as of yet. 19 at Keokuk, 16 Fort Madison, 25 at Hannibal, 20 at Kirksville, 20 at Jacksonville, 23 at Pittsfield. We've got that wind now still out of the north-northwest at about 10, 14, 15 miles an hour. That's putting a significant chill in the air when it feels like 8 to 5 degrees above, 2 above at Macomb, 7 above at Mount Sterling. That means you need to bundle up as you head on out the door, because any exposed flesh to these temperatures is going to make it just kind of numb very quick. And then frostbite sets in. You don't want that in your hands, that's for sure. Water vapor imagery shows almost where that cold front is here with very limited moisture with it. So no snow is occurring, not even a flurry for that matter, as high pressure kind of pushes this down to the south and to the southwest. It shows up here on the radar satellite. A little bit of lake effect snows across Michigan, a little flurry activity across the Sunflower State. Other than that, this is a dry front as it crosses on by. Now we got a different scenario as we head towards the end of the week and the beginning part of the weekend. We'll show you that here in just a second. Forecast in motion, dry weather through tonight and through tomorrow. The wind will start to shift back to the southwest as high pressure moves off to the east. So that sets up for our next weather maker as we head towards Pride Day. Sends in some moisture and some warmer temperatures. Then we get a little bit of a trough of low pressure that develops on the lee side of the Rockies, moves across the Plains states, gets into our neck of the woods. That may create a little freezing drizzle across Kansas City and parts of central Missouri. Light snow to our north. And for us, I think maybe just a dusting, and that should be about it. 7 degrees tonight, clear as sky, northwest wind at 5 to 10. May feel about 0 to 5 below. So again, you need to bundle up being out late tonight and early tomorrow morning for the kids at the bus stop. 21 tomorrow, increasing clouds with the light breeze, and then the wind shifts to the southwest tomorrow afternoon. That prevents a free fall of temperatures tomorrow night. 15 the low, then back up to almost freezing on Friday. Chance of some light snow and maybe some patchy drizzle. 26 Friday night. Saturday, the main thrust of the storm comes through. 28 for the high. That gets shut off before the real cold comes in. 1 below Saturday night. Penguins love the cold on Sunday. Highs up 9 degrees, maybe 10 degrees. Parts of southeast Iowa will not see double-digit temperatures. That's a guarantee on Sunday. And then we start another warming trend next week. First day of winter, by the way. Miss Raja is next Wednesday.
I am not a fan of this cold weather, but what are you going to
fifth.
do? We want to give you some breaking news from KHQA's David Amilati. He has just tweeted that the donated ADM land was auctioned off quickly to Jack Sharkey, and he's told that Sharkey's bid, he wrote a check within minutes. So we'll bring you more details tonight at 10 o'clock. Well, now we want to honor a special athlete who excels both on the field and in the classroom. Here's Nico Heflinger.
That's right, Raja. As it is Wednesday, it is time for the next Student Athlete of the Week. We'll have more on Dylan Cornwell of Unity coming up right after this.
Now, from across the Tri-States, this is KHQA Sports.
The success of the Unity Payson football season is hard to overlook. With an unblemished regular season and the likes of All-Staters in Corey Miller and Brody Dunker, the Mustangs were full of talented players. One such player is lineman Dylan Cornwell, who not only made an impact on the football field, but also on the track and field team and in the classroom as well, as he earns the KHQA Student Athlete of the Week. Dylan Cornwell will always be able to reflect on being a part of the 2 winningest teams in program history.
There's definitely a possibility for anyone else to do that. It's just to be one of the first ones to ever win a playoff game 2 years in a row. It's just great.
To reach that peak, 18 wins in 2 seasons after a winless campaign in 2014, hard work and diligence was brought forth directly from the players.
When we saw the 0-9 season, we were like, we don't want this again. It sucks to lose. Anyone can tell you that. So as soon as that season got over, almost everyone returning was in the weight room immediately. We all hit the weights hard, tried to get better, did extra stuff afterwards, just tried to get better all around.
That improvement came forth even more this season, winning 10 consecutive games and seeing countless individual accolades. For Cornwell, it was honorable mention all-conference and all-area, but for the bruising lineman, seeing his quarterback and teammates earn honors was just as rewarding.
The fact that Brody got Player of the Year, we got Brody all-conference, all-area, a bunch of other players, Cole got honorable mentions here and there. It's just all great having the whole team get in on it too.
The hard work shows both on and off the field, where Cornwell boasts a 3.83 grade point average, ranking 8th in his class.
That dedication to schoolwork is something Cornwell has had throughout his high school career.
Kind of freshman year, I remember a lot, me and my brother were working on homework at night. It'd be midnight before we even got done, maybe even later into the night. And then I realized I got 4 years of football. If I'm lucky, maybe 4 more, but probably not. So I got to get this schoolwork done, and then I can still have all that football to balance it all out.
On top of his stellar classroom work and blocking on the football field, Cornwell shined on the Scholastic Bowl team, scoring the second most points his junior year.
I didn't get fired up as much for Scholastic Bowl as I did football because there's no physical contact, no stretching beforehand, no warm-up music. It's just you kind of get in there and you're answering questions. It's all fun, but not as much as football.
In the next few months, Cornwell will finalize his collegiate plans, but his interest in math and science will play a big role in his future.
It's a toss-up, definitely between mechanical engineering and automotive technology. It's great just to see how something works and how to see it change over time, and I really just want to be part of that.
Well, cold out there, so be careful.
Yeah, make sure you bundle up. Wind chill tonight from 0 to 5 below.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight on KHQA News at 10.